Hello and welcome back to Jack Knives Reviews. I'm of course your host, Jack Knives. This is part 2 of the best segments of the VHS franchise. If you missed part 1 where I talked about the worst, there's a link in the description. But for now, let's get on with the list. These are the best 6 segments of the VHS franchise.
Dante the Great from VHS Viral.
As I stated before in my last list, VHS Viral is considered the worst of the franchise. But this is the best of the worst. This segment was directed by Greg Bishop, who would later go on to do the film adaptation of Siren, which is also based off of a VHS segment. There are a lot of good filming techniques in this segment. The only problem I have with it is I'm 99% sure this is straight out of a Goosebumps book, if I'm not mistaken. And not only that, it just focused too much on the comedy and not enough on the actual horror for me. And when I put on a horror movie that is an amalgamation of different things, I would prefer to stay within the realm of horror, which I don't mind a little sprinkling of comedy, but not when it's that full forced. But for what it is, it actually does have some good visuals, some good aspects, some good concepts, and overall it's not badly acted either. Is it great? No. But that's why it's on this list at number 6.
Ozzy's Dungeon from VHS 99.
This one is directed by not a filmmaker, but a musician known as Flying Lotus. He did have something to do with another movie called Kuso, which is a weird, trippy, creepy comedy. But this actually had a great, and I mean great, amount of potential. Like, I could honestly see this being a full-length movie. That's one of the things I do love about the VHS franchise. It's almost like it allows you to look at segments and go, wow, there is enough here to be like a segment that could be potentially made into a full-length movie. Whether or not it's going to be good or bad, that's kind of irrelevant. But what I do think this one specifically had such great acting and disturbing visuals and build up to it. Like, what exactly is Ozzy's Dungeon? Like, what is at the end of that rainbow, so to speak? And what I also loved is it's a dark, horror twisted version of Double Dare. I want to see them turn horror style game shows. Like, that's a thing I've wanted to see since I was a kid, and to see it sort of realized, kind of, but also give you the real creeps. And the mom especially, whoo, like, she is like, whew, creepy, but in a good way. And in a practical sense, especially after everything, and to find out the different things at the end was just like, whoa, 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 in a good way. And I loved it for that.
Dreamkill from VHS 85.
This segment was directed by Scott Derrickson, who has his own long resume of great films, including Doctor Strange, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and even the Sinister franchise. But I really loved this segment. This is 100% capable of being a full-length movie. I fully believe this could definitely be a film. This should be a film. I would pay to see this kind of a movie. If done in the way that this movie is done, I would love to see a full-length movie like this. And I would pay good money to see it. That's what I liked about it. It felt just so grimy, but so good at the same time. And that's one of the things that I love about found footage, is it doesn't feel, or meant to feel, like it's fake or made up. It's supposed to feel like, oh, you found and stumbled across this, and so it adds more elements to it.
Safe Haven from VHS 2.
This segment, along with another one, is considered the 2 ultimate segments of the entire franchise by many fans. And there's a reason why. Timothy Gihanto and Gareth Evans collaborated in directing this one. known for May the Devil Take You franchise and the Raid franchise, respectively. Their styles, their grittiness, parts that the drama builds and builds and builds and builds. And it is a satisfying, good payoff that makes you want more. The minister man in it is so creepy, so under your skin creepy. Not because of the supernatural elements of it, but because you have seen or witnessed this sort of stuff in this kind of environment. The less I say about it, the better. But it is well paced, well executed, well filmed, and really sticks with you. And that's why it's here at number 3.
Amateur Night from VHS.
Amateur Night is the segment that I fully believe made the VHS franchise. It was the one segment that stuck with everyone who first saw the movie. It stuck with everyone since that movie, and it's considered one of the best segments. It touches on SA, it touches on predatory behavior, revenge, creepiness, the visuals, the concept, everything just worked. It was so just full force, all cylinders. This is what made the VHS franchise. This segment alone created the franchise that is the VHS franchise. And there's a reason behind it. It was so good, it went on to get its own spin-off movie, which is also good in its own way. It just stands the test of time, and it really, really is well executed and acted, especially by the main lead who plays the siren. She is amazing, and she deserves more credit than she definitely gets. Before we move on to number 1, here are some honorable mentions.
Storm Drain from VHS 94.
This is an amazing, amazing segment. It hits every cylinder. It hits everything I wanted in a segment, in a horror movie, in any aspect. It's got body horror, gore, suspense, storytelling, writing, visual unknowns, acting well, everything, the camera work. And the craziest thing about the segment is it's directed by virtually unknowns or first-time directors. I believe there were 4 directors in this one segment, and they need to work again to make a horror franchise. Preferably a spin-off of this segment. This is what the horror aspect, and specifically the VHS franchise, has the potential to do. Take relative unknowns, take relative newcomers, and take relative first-time directors and long-time directors and put them all together to just come up with their best ideas, release their best stuff to the public, like a giant sample platter of horror. And that's what I love about the VHS franchise. Each film, even viral, all bring something different. They all are very different from one another. And because of that, it allows each to stand its own and yet all be felt as if it's within the same realm of each universe. And that's one of the best parts about this franchise. I highly, highly recommend the VHS franchise. If you want to know my ranking of all 6 films, I might do that as a bonus video later. And check out Happy the Knife over at his channel, link in the description down below. Stay tuned for more horrors here on Jack-O-Ween.